Hey, No Brains, No Headache listeners. You can find every episode on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Episodes are available to watch on YouTube where you can subscribe, like, and comment on each episode. Make sure to follow No Brains, No Headache on your favorite social media platform for up to date news, clips, and poorly timed jokes. Now let's get into this week's episode.
No brains, no headache. That's the way I like it. Turn my worries into jokes. Set them on fire while we light it. No.
It's No Brains, No Headache podcast, episode 289. We're back for yet another mindlessly entertaining recording of this mindlessly entertaining show. And we're happy to be here. Damn glad to do so, as we got a real doozy in store for you today. Going to continue some stuff that we talked about last week, introduce some new content, rather. Having a mild stroke. Excuse me. Beg my pardon, if you will. Name's Jordan. Happy to be here. Damn glad to do so. I'm going to be your host today. Next to me is my co-host, confidant, longtime friend, fellow comedian. Some people call him Ongo. Other people call him Applesauce. It's Matt Cleary-Ongo. How are we doing today?
Good. Just gearing up to go on a vacation. So, packing my life away and trying to figure out what I'm going to do for the next 5 days. And I can tell you what I'm going to do. It's going to involve a lot of booze.
And you're headed to
Nashville. Yep.
Trashville.
What did I call it earlier? Smashville.
Oh, nice.
Just going to take myself to Pound Town, if you know what I mean.
I feel like you just got done with vacation. Do you feel as if you just recovered from the last vacation and now you're on to the next?
Yeah, I really haven't had much of a break because came back from that vacation on Monday, had like the biggest show of my life on Friday, and then had this last week where I had stuff going on every night of the week. I was just like, I'm going to do this, and then I'm not leaving until like July, which will be super nice.
Well, there you go. We got Matt's going to Nash. Matt takes Nashville. What do you think you're gonna do?
I got like a bunch of like dive bars and stuff that people have recommended, and apparently there's live music at every bar. And I was like, I know that it's Nashville. Like, this isn't Mandan, North Dakota. There's probably going to be a live entertainment in every bar.
It's funny you say that because of all places in the Bismarck, Mandan area, I think Mandan has the one bar that has live music like 6 out of 7 days a week. I think so. Yeah. What can you do? Yeah. And thankfully you're going to Nashville to check out some dive bars because you definitely don't have that.
Yeah. It's like rented a sweet Airbnb that has a basketball hoop, and I'm going with a bunch of people that are not athletic. I'm going to fucking dominate them.
That's always a great strategy. I remember as a kid, I was playing neighborhood basketball with all the neighbor kids, and they were all hockey players or just bad athletes all around. And
yeah, you basically had
I was just dunking on people.
You had like the who's who of retarded kids that you just like play basketball with.
Yeah, 2 of them were definitely like full-on hockey players, like barely shot a basketball in their life, and then the other one just like had a hard time like defining gravity. So like I really had it stacked in my favor. Because I remember once I broke my wrist or broke my arm, like right by the wrist, and I had a freaking cast on, and I was still just dominating these suckers.
Yeah. I had a little bit of an update to my acapella fiasco on a plane.
Okay, yeah, what's going on there?
So if you don't know, I was on a plane, and mid-flight, an acapella group got up and sang, and I pretended to be fast asleep the whole time. What I didn't realize and was told was that there was a girl in my row that was part of the acapella group, and I was fake sleeping, so she couldn't get out. So she just stood like in her window seat. There was someone in the middle and then me in the aisle, and she just stood and sang. And like, apparently everyone saw me as being a huge asshole, not letting this girl out.
Which is ironic because I see them as huge assholes for singing
Yeah.
a cappella on a flight. There's just and I'm not gonna get worked up this week. I don't really have the energy for that right now. But there's just times and places where you just don't there's no need for a cappella. And on an Allegiant flight from Mesa, Arizona to Bismarck, North Dakota, it's not one of them. And I'm gonna leave it at that.
But United just came out. This was after this happened. United Airlines came out with if you listen to music or audio without headphones on, you can be banned for life from flying United.
I like that.
And
like
I want to
what United is doing.
Yeah, I want to email United and be like, what's the penalty for an a cappella group on your flights? Because if banned for life is like listening to audio, I feel like disrupting the entire flight by having an a cappella group, like the death penalty has to be on the table.
Well, I mean, I think it needs to be highly considered for sure. And I have a pilot friend. He's studying to become a pilot. So next time I see him, I'm definitely gonna have to get his professional opinion on how he feels about a cappella on the flight. But that's crazy, man. I didn't know that women were allowed to do a cappella.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Like they can vote now. I don't know if you saw that.
I heard they could vote, but I was unaware that there would be a female, part of the Tone Rangers. I just assume acapella was all like, what do you like? Are they tenors? What are the things?
Altos and sopranos.
I
They're
thought
actually
acapella was just like all the deep octaves, you could say, and like women weren't allowed to do it. I've never seen a woman in an acapella group, I guess you could say.
You know what's pretty wild? Like I just had to look it up before I just made up some egregious fact, but guess when women could get credit cards?
Okay, well, first of all, when was credit cards introduced? Do we have that?
I'll
just go like 98.
Credit cards were invented in 1950.
Oh, I'm sticking with 98.
Well, it was 1974. Is when women were allowed to, which is so late to the game. That's like
there was credit cards for 24 years before they're like, I guess we could give women this.
That's like Augusta, where the Masters is played. You found out that their first black member was in 2012, and you're like, oh no.
Yeah, which is crazy because the Masters is covered by CBS, and if they really put their money where their mouth is, I don't think they would be supporting the Masters or Augusta. But what can you do? What can you do? I got a quick shout out to my brother. He's, Matt, have you ever just experienced somebody who's just sending you dynamite memes on a consistent basis? Because that's where my brother's at. So I just want to give a little shout out to my brother for great memes all around, and then really good Snapchats. I thought Snapchat was kind of a dying breed for a while there, but he keeps on firing off just absolute gold. So there's really nothing in particular. I just wanted to give a shout out, and it feels good to have somebody out there who's sending you good memes. Now I do have other people in my life, and they're quite possibly listening to the show right now, so maybe they can take a hint. But they're sending me too many memes. Okay, I'm not even hearting them. I'm not even responding. I'm not reciprocating. There's no effort from my end. And I just hope that they can understand that is just, I'm just not digging it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And if you're going to send me 5 straight reels on Instagram at 3:30 in the morning, full well I'm opening my phone in the morning, seeing that I have a notification and not watching a single one of them.
It's almost like sometimes I stockpile them and then I'll go all at once.
Yeah.
Like I'm replying to a reel that you sent me like 2.5 weeks ago. It's like way up. It's way up in the thread. And then it's just a random reply.
And most of the time, if I really want the person to see the reel that I'm sending them, I will send it and then I'll text them and say, check this out. It's hilarious. If I don't send you that text, go ahead and just disregard it.
The old double entendre, you
Yeah.
could say. Just really make sure that they see it.
I had an absolute doozy of a week. So, uh, was it last Monday? I get this mail from like the North Dakota Department of Transportation that I have like an outstanding ticket, which I got on the way to movie night over a year ago. And
Mhm.
the night that it happened, I wrote a check, put the check in the mail, didn't think anything of it. Apparently, the check never got there. And I went in to just like pay it at the courthouse, which is what I should have done in the first place. And they're like, you haven't had a license since December 2024. My license has just been suspended.
Because you didn't pay your thing.
I paid it. It just didn't get there in the mail.
It's a broken system we have. But is that why that your license was suspended? We'll give
Yeah.
the air quotes here if you're watching on YouTube. Suspended.
And so I had to
Jeez,
pay
Matt, you're just a criminal.
Yeah, well, I mean, like that one time I committed like tax, insurance, and election fraud in the same week.
Yeah, it was a big week.
And then like my insurance for 3 years, that was just classic. But also it goes to show that I have just an impeccable driving history if I like haven't got pulled over in over a year. And it's like bad when the people that work at the DMV are shocked because they get literally everything. She's like, "Oh no!" And I was like, "Yeah, we could figure this out right now."
They're like, "Sir, how did you get here?" And you're like, "I drove my vehicle."
Would
They're
it help
like,
that I'm drunk right now? I don't know.
"I drove my vehicle here." They're like, "Citizens arrest! Citizens arrest!"
They're like, "I don't get paid enough for this. Just give me the $50 and I'll reinstate your license."
So is that what ended up happening?
Yeah, and then on was it Friday night? Called it an early night, but still had some drinks. So I came home and I was eating a sandwich, and I was eating a sandwich and I was taking a piss, and I dropped my entire sandwich in the toilet.
That's why you don't eat where you shit. Shit where you eat or whatever.
You know, like you
However
make
the
a
saying
sandwich,
goes.
went downstairs, and then I'm like, I gotta take a piss. I'm still just eating my sandwich. And
I don't like to take any sort of food product into the restroom.
yeah, I'm like a yellow, it's mellow. If it's brown, don't take it downtown, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, and I mean, that's fair. He can really expedite the process that way. But I mean, that's just unfortunate dropping the old sandwich into the toilet. So then did you just flush the sandwich?
Yeah, yeah. No, I grabbed it out and continued.
Well, I
to
don't know,
eat it.
Matt. I mean, it's not necessarily a flushable item.
Well, okay, how is a sandwich not
It's like
flushable?
toilets clogged. They're like, oh, did you take a huge shit? You're like, no, actually, I dropped my sandwich in the toilet.
That's like at my office when there was like shit water running from the ceiling. And I went up to the third floor and like, yeah, someone tried to flush a bunch of lasagna down the toilet. And I was like, why not just throw it in the fucking garbage?
Dude, I've been doing the toilets clogged joke lately, and it's getting a laugh like 100% of the time.
I love it when it's you very, very clearly took a piss and then
Yeah.
you still say toilet's clogged.
Yeah, or like if you're like with other people and you're like, "Hey, I'm gonna go. I gotta use the restroom real quick," and then you come back like 90 seconds later, just pretty much physically impossible to take a steamy old dump. But then they're like, oh, "Okay, you're back." You're like, and your hands are still wet. You're like, "Toilet's clogged."
Yeah.
Gets a laugh 100% of the time.
I've been running into some trouble because I always at the
With
watering
the
hole.
law by not paying your tickets. Is that what you mean by
I paid it.
running into trouble?
I feel like the U.S. Postal Service should have something to say in this matter, but
They committed mail fraud.
yeah, he probably opened it thinking that it was cash, saw it was a check, and then just threw it away.
I can already see the mailman just
just
he's
going
just
through like,
ripping it up as he's walking.
yeah, just god damn it. But I kept getting into like trouble because I go to the local watering hole and I go to the other side to take a shit. And every time I run into someone I know and they know exactly what I'm doing.
Honestly, you should just talk to management and see if there's some sort of way that you can just sneak through the back.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good idea.
But hey, do you guys think I could have like 1 or 2 free passes through the kitchen? I won't touch anything.
Yeah.
Like, I'll
So-
stay clear. I really am tired of running into my girlfriend from 5th grade's father that confuses me for my brother and congratulates me on my, political career that I don't have.
Yeah. Or someone's like, wow, I thought you died. And I'm like, what?
You're still alive.
I love when someone's parents of like a kid I know just judges me for like constantly being at a bar. And I'm like, your kid is objectively a world-class piece of shit compared to
Or
me.
and you run into them at the bar. They're
Yeah.
judging you for being at the bar while they're at the bar. That's the
Yeah.
most North Dakota thing I've ever heard.
Yeah. But broke ass lunch.
Yeah, I was having some lunch the other day, and my boss walks up to me as I was just, kind of minding my own business, trying to get some grub down, take a moment, a little break from the day. And he looks at my spread of a turkey sandwich, a Kit Kat, and a Coke Zero. And he kind of examines it and then looks me directly in the eyes and says, quote, "Looks like a broke ass lunch to me." And I had zero rebuttal for it whatsoever. I mean, he absolutely nailed it on the head. So just really a lot of respect for that one. Very rarely do I get a remark made towards me or in a situation where I'm pretty good at firing back or at least defending myself in a humorous manner. There was a lot of, there was some depression in my eyes, and I'm not saying I'm depressed. I mean, that's just kind of a given at this point, but like, I'm just saying, like, I just had that look in my face where I was just like, very sadly eating this sandwich, and my dessert was a Kit Kat. I mean, kudos to the Kit Kat. I think the Kit Kat arguably was the best part of that lunch. One could say, but
Not having like chips or some sort of celery or carrots is kind of
okay,
a wild
here's
move.
what I do. This is classic me just kind of being a world-class piece of shit. Make my sandwich, put it into my little sandwich bag, and then I go to work with that. And then in the fridge where everybody has their nice lunch boxes, there's just I don't even bring a lunch box. I just have a sandwich in there. And then they started dating it just so it doesn't like go old. Like I'll come back to eat it and I see a little sticker on there that like signifies. It's like, no, I'm gonna eat this. Is gonna sit in the fridge for about 3 hours. Then I'm eating that sucker.
You're just mid shift while you're supposed to be working. You just pull a sandwich out of your pocket.
It's actually not a bad idea. But this has also made me realize that lately, for me anyways, cutting sandwiches diagonally has been replaced by what I like to call the bear claw press down. Now, I'm not sure if you're familiar with this, Matt, but it's a new maneuver I came up with where, like you have a piece of bread and then, maybe whatever dressing you want, perhaps some mayo or mustard or whatever you prefer. Slap a little cheese on there, some meat if you really want to go crazy, maybe some greens or veggies. I stop at the meat personally, but then I top it with the other bun, and then I just take my hand and I just kind of smush it. I give it like a little smushing motion, and I don't know what it does, kind of similar to the diagonal cut, where it just makes the sandwich better. Do you ever give the sandwich a little smush when you're done, or like got a cheeseburger, you just kind of give it a press?
No, but I'm imagining you at Subway, like ordering your sub, and then be like, after they put it in the bag, be like, would you mind just smashing it all together for me?
This only works with like sliced bread
Yeah.
from a loaf.
So this is just pro tip. You go get a loaf of sourdough bread,
Okay.
and then you go get a tube of summer sausage and a bottle of Mike's Hot Honey. Thinly slice the summer sausage onto the
Okay.
bread, drizzle on hot honey, dynamite sandwich.
Just 3 ingredients.
It's true 3 ingredients. This is not like a 3-ingredient meal where you have to have 600 spices, olive oil, a stick of butter, and cream cheese. And then 3 ingredients. This is 3 ingredients.
Love it.
I had 3 of them last night.
I'm definitely gonna try that. I don't know if they, have the same brand of summer sausage in my neck of the woods. The
Maybe
one
they
that
do.
we all know. I mean, maybe
Cloverdale's
the
a
wo-
huge company. They could sponsor the pod if they want.
wasn't gonna say it, but go right ahead.
Yep.
Those bastards didn't hire me a while back.
Yeah. Well,
It was
fuck them.
It was like 10 years ago.
Haven't had Cloverdale since. All right, let's get into it.
Okay. Let's party.
I've been so excited for this one. I'm a huge fan, and I know you are too, of Friday Night Lights, the movie and the TV show. So I did the best I could to come up with scenarios and characters to go up against each other. So you have to pick which one, the movie or the TV show. And I
Okay.
did about 15 of them. And
Okay.
some
Wow.
of them, some of them have clear comps. Some of them, it's like I just needed someone to fill in. Some of them runaway winners, some of them close, some of them like I don't know. But so starting out, we have the movie Coach Gaines versus the TV show Coach Taylor.
And I'm supposed to just kind of pick who I
Yep.
like more, or
Yeah. Who do you think like the winner of or better? Who's better?
wait, their names are different.
Yeah. It's Coach Gary Gaines and Coach Eric Taylor.
All right, I was just pulling up the everything. So I will say before we get started, I've always kind of leaned towards the movie more, and I didn't really give the TV show a chance for quite a while. Then I finally did, and you know, um, what's his name? Riggins is just plowing all these different chicks. And I was like, you know what, this show's not too bad.
Yeah.
You
I've reconsidered.
know? But that being said, for this certain scenario, I gotta go with Billy Bob.
Oh.
I mean, Coach Taylor's great. I love what's that actor's name again? I always forget.
Yeah,
Kyle-
he's in a
yeah.
bunch of other stuff, but
Kyle Chandler. I should know
Yep.
that. I live in Chandler. Fuck. He's great, but ultimately the way that Coach Gaines composes himself, I mean, it really just starting from the very beginning of the movie, where he's like giving the speech before they like start their first practice, which, mind you, when you're watching Friday Night Lights, the movie, and you're an ex-football player who played all throughout high school, perhaps even college, and you're like watching that scene, you have a little bit of like, I don't want to say PTSD, but we'll just go with that for the sake here, because like those guys are about to just get absolutely wrecked at practice. It's like, oh, it's called Hell Week. I mean, most sports have some sort of Hell Week, built in, but when you're seeing that, you're like, oh god, like you start getting like nervous and like exhaust. Like I get winded sometimes when I see that, but from all the way from the beginning where he's like, we will win state. We will win state. Like, yes, I love it. And I love his speeches where he yells at him.
I'm actually on the other end. Coach Taylor, easy pick for me. But next matchup, Booby Miles versus Smash Williams.
I think I want to go Booby here, but he gets fucking injured. Excuse my language, but I gotta go Smash Williams if I'm really looking for the best of the best. Smash does a great job of staying healthy, staying on the field, and carrying his team.
Yeah, I'm going the other way. I like Booby just for what it was closer than this is probably the closest one I have. But the fact is that in real life, the real Booby Miles got hurt and his backup ended up being better than him. And Booby Miles in real life legitimately could not read.
It's your kind of guy.
Yeah, when he's like, oh yeah, he's getting all these letters from like ASU and USC. It's like, no, he was getting letters from junior college because he was in special education classes, so like couldn't go to college right away.
He was like, congratulations.
Yeah. Next matchup. This one's not much of a matchup, but Mike Winchell versus Matt Saracen.
Oh, come on. I mean, we got to go with Mike Winchell. M-dubs.
Yeah.
He's
that
the
one-
boy. He's tough as nails. Not that Matt isn't, but I mean, Winchell, the guy just shows grit throughout the entire movie. Never gives up. He's always there for his team. And I mean, he, like Matt Saracen's character arc or how they built him up, I hate to say it, but he comes off right away as kind of a gigantic pussy.
I was just gonna say no ball pussy loser.
Yeah. And then then he kind of develops some thick skin and he gets tough and stuff, which is great. And then you plows the coach's daughter or whatever. But
oh, and then he bangs the nurse that's taking care of his grandma, which is
I forgot
fully
about that.
statutory rape. Like he's playing a 16-year-old. She's
Was
like,
that just like that marketing chick who just got fired the other day?
oh yeah, don't sleep with any of the players. 2 months later, we're gonna have to let you go.
We're gonna have to let you go for sleeping with quite literally all the players.
Yeah, everyone has chlamydia, and you're the common denominator.
No, but yeah, Mike Winchell's just tough as nails, and
yeah. Okay. This one played by the same actress, Sharon Gaines, Coach Gaines' wife, or Tammy Taylor.
I think I'm gonna go with Tammy Taylor, so the TV show version.
Yep.
Just because
she's a bigger part of the show. Like
for sure, because doesn't she become like the counselor?
Yeah.
Or is that her job
Yep.
she gets? Yeah, she's just a lot more involved. And I mean, obviously, there's certain factors that we have to consider here. But in the movie, she kind of goes like, there's kind of a gigantic red flag when homeboy comes home from that football game and she has like 14 for sale signs in the front yard. It's like, and she's like, I want to move to Alaska. It's like, okay. It's the moment you get to Alaska, you're gonna be like, I regret this. There is regret.
Yeah, it's like our whole team got eaten by polar bears, so season was forfeited. Okay, this one's a situation when they're eating in the movie when they're eating, and the guy comes up and he's like 35 years old, and he's like, Billingsley, party at Taylor's house, Billingsley. That situation and the party at Taylor's versus the landing strip club.
Does anything in particular happen at the landing strip, or do they just go out for a night with the boys like in Varsity Blues?
I think like just in general of it being around, like I feel like Buddy Garrity's there a lot. What is it? Billy Riggins meets his wife, falls in love with a literal stripper.
Yeah, that's like rule number one. That's first day stuff.
Yeah.
Gosh, man, this is a really good one because there's factors to consider here. What I'm thinking I like mostly about them eating and then going to the party is Mike Winchell gets laid. That's huge. I mean, you need your quarterback to be playing fast and loose out there. He can't be all wound up, otherwise he won't be able to think straight. The blood's got to be flowing properly, and that's what happens. However, on the other end, there's just always something funny about just high school kids going to a strip club.
Yeah, like both of these movies, like the amount of like Tim Riggins comes to practice drunk like 30% of the time.
Which is wild. Not to say I didn't drink at that age or do similar things, but like during football season, I was honestly pretty straight edge. Like where it's just like, okay, we don't need to be drinking or doing alternative things. I'm not going to get into. Just use your imagination if you're listening. But like during football, I was like, okay, I don't want to feel like shit. Like I want to be at my best. Yeah. If anything, I did that more.
All right, so what are you going with?
I think I'm gonna go with the house party just because I remember that scene more, and I
Yep.
think it's funny when he comes out and he gives Mike Winchell food, and Billingsley's like, "You never give me free food." He's like, "I just gave you a free burger." As he's like got half of it in his mouth, he's like, "Oh yeah." So that's why I'll give the edge to that
Yep.
one.
That was my pick as well. Next and second and the last one of the crossover between them, same character we have from the movie, Booster John Aubrey versus Buddy Garrity.
Buddy Garrity, 1000%. I mean,
It's
this
a
one
runaway.
just the thing about Buddy Garrity, which is great, is that episode, and you know exactly where I'm going with this, but that episode where he gets arrested, right? He's in the holding cell, in the jail cell, and does Coach Taylor come to see him or something? Or
No,
somebody
he
comes?
calls Coach Taylor with his one phone call and like tells him he's in prison or he's in jail. And he's like, "Well, are you doing okay?" And then he says,
Doesn't he say like, let's just worry about
he's like, "I'll be fine. The Buffaloes have a great defense."
yeah,
Be worried about.
yeah.
Yeah,
Like
Buddy,
he's just breaking down film from jail.
or at his like car dealership when he has a hog that he pays like a Mexican exchange student to like catch the hog, and he's like, he was so good at that, he should play defensive end for the football team.
Yeah, you got to respect Buddy Garrity just for constantly having the hustle and just everything is just centered around the football team. I feel like his character in the movie was like a little more hostile and threatening.
Yeah,
because like it was just way too serious.
Yeah. This is it's a little bit of a heavyweight matchup we got next. We have Charles Billingsley, played by Tim McGraw, or Billy Riggins.
Which one's Billy Riggins? I gotta pull up. Okay, so Billy's his older brother, right?
Yep.
And then you have Charles Billingsley, played by Tim McGraw. Dude, this is wow. I think ultimately I have to give the nod to Tim McGraw. I mean, when he just comes out with his boxers on and he's just got his fucking hairy chest, and then he's just like, "Oh damn, Millie, you grown up." Clearly just hitting on like a 17-year-old. It's like,
yeah,
what?
It's that was, I think, Mariah was her name, and played by Amber Heard. Fun fact.
Yeah. Actually, I have it pulled. I don't know why I didn't just look. I have it pulled it up right here.
But yeah, I'm gonna go with Charles Billingsley as well.
You can't touch this, and then just hucks it out the window.
I love the fact that they lose in the state championship game, and nowhere in the world would they let a fan come down onto the field right after the game, and he like comes and like puts his ring on his son's hand. It's like, okay.
Yeah. Also, can we just talk about quick the morning after where he busts the window and throws the ring out? The morning after, he wakes up and Dawn like slaps it on the table or whatever. And then they have like this weird little chit chat. Okay, two things actually. One, Dawn he's got a chew in his lip. And like this has got to be the best, like just happened to happen. He spits and then just has a string of saliva, which is just like, there's no way that was scripted. Second of all, what the hell is he drinking from the fridge? Is it orange juice? Is it chocolate milk? Is it very dirty water? I can't tell, but it's a large gallon jug.
Yeah, I thought it was like milk or maybe a gallon of water or something.
I don't know. It's whatever it is. He makes it look very delicious.
Next, we have backup running back Chris Comer.
Okay.
Versus starting running back in season 4 and 5, Luke Cafferty.
Okay, I see who Luke Cafferty is. I just don't really remember him much.
He was like the only redeeming quality of the last.
Actually, I don't even watch those, I don't think.
Yeah. He was like, basically he played for Permian or played for Dillon, and then East Dillon High School opened back up, and they found out that he actually lived in East Dillon. But
So they
like,
made him move or what?
yeah, and then he was like just a baller for East Dillon.
I'm gonna go with Chris Comer, obviously, just because like that's that's just who I know best. But we also can't forget that the character is the famous Jet Jackson.
Fair.
Also made an appearance in Johnny Tsunami.
Oh yeah, that's
It's a
oh,
deep cut.
yeah. All right, this is actually a very deep cut. You alluded to it earlier. We have Melissa, who Mike Winchell plows in the bathroom of the party,
Okay.
versus Tyra Collette.
Is Tyra Collette, is she Minka Kelly?
No, that's Lila Garrity.
Oh wait, sorry. What the fuck is
Tyra's the one that's dating
Oh, I was in the wrong.
Riggins.
Sorry, I was in the movie. Tyra. Wait, Minka Kelly's in both of them?
No, that's just what it shows up on Google. I was looking up this earlier.
Oh, Tyra. Why? Why? Hello. I like. What's the other? Melissa is her name.
Yeah, but because when Mike's just standing there not doing anything, she's like, "Are you gay?" And he's like,
Yeah.
"No." And he's like, "How can you prove it?" Then it's just,
See, I love that sequence of events because it's just like, okay, prove it, and then, yeah, she just.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to get too graphic here, but it's just like, what a cleat chaser is that?
Yeah.
I guess is that technically the term? Just a full on cleat chaser. Tyra's pretty cool though. I
Yeah.
like her.
We don't
character. I'll
talk
give-
about Tyra's character arc that much because she murders a dude with
Oh,
someone that will
yeah.
be mentioned later, and then they cover it up, and then they just start banging. And he's objectively the ugliest kid in that school. So,
Oh yeah, there's
yeah,
that couple in particular. There's one person who is way better looking than
Yeah.
the other person.
like who? It's like, wow, you definitely probably covered up a murder. She must know something. It's like, yeah, that's actually what happened. Next matchup, we have Ivory Christian versus Landry Clark.
Okay, Ivory Christian's character says about 4 words the entire movie, so good for him for getting paid. God knows what for just being tall and large.
He has a great speech in the locker room.
Okay, yeah, he does. But then Landry Clark is also played by Jesse Plemons. Jesse Plemons is just, he's a legend on the screen as of late. But I'm gonna give the edge to Ivory Christian. I mean, he would just take your head off.
Yeah.
And I'm going based off of skill level of football. Ivory Christian was definitely one of the main players in that Permian team.
Yep. The next, before we get into the two finals that are the heavyweights, we have Brian Chavez versus Jason Street.
Okay, well, this one may be just Brian Chavez because I don't know who Jason Street is.
Jason Street's the starting quarterback who breaks his neck in the first episode.
Oh, Chavez.
Yeah.
I don't know. I hate to discriminate against people in wheelchairs, but something about him just bothers me. What?
Same. All right. The two heavyweight matchups I have.
I know exactly which one of these is going to be.
Don Billingsley versus Tim Riggins.
Oh. I knew this one was coming, and this is going to be tough. They both have some really great qualities, which is they just love to drink.
Texas forever. It's like you're 16.
Yeah. And I'm gonna give you my quick answer. It's Tim Riggins. I feel ultimately, and I don't know this for sure, but he just seems bigger physically to me. I love the cowboy collar or whatever you want to call it that he wears. I think that's super badass. I mean, Billingsley, he gets his arm put back, his
Yeah.
shoulder put back in place on the sideline. He's got a raging alcoholic father.
He's also got a raging alcoholic himself.
Yeah, they're both. It's just kind of at that point, him and his dad, him and Tim McGraw are just roommates who just love to booze. Like, like Don gets the groceries, Charles gets the beer. Like that's just kind of their
Yeah.
like agreement they have going. Um, Plus, like I'm pretty sure, like any woman that Riggins comes across, he ends up just plowing. So it's just like, I mean, you gotta get
It's a heavyweight.
kudos.
It's a heavyweight matchup. Like if you put all of these together, those two are in the top 3.
But and then I know earlier we were talking about the scene where the guys like party at Taylor's house. Don Billingsley, I give him his character some credit. Every eating scene, he makes the food look so good.
Yeah.
Because that other scene, they're in the parking lot, him and Chavez, they're just like hammering down some like gas station burritos, which I can't imagine is going to be great in the long run. But they make him look
Had
so good.
diarrhea.
Yeah. The cop is just like, "You boys gonna win?" "Yes, sir." And he's like mid burrito, and he's like, "Yes, sir." Like he has to swallow his burrito to get the "yes, sir" out. Also just washing it down with some carton milk. That's such a power move.
Yeah.
But I'm going Riggins. Who are you got?
I'm gonna go with Riggins as well.
I think he would be like they're both really good football players in this very hypothetical situation we're doing, but I think Riggins is just like slightly better at football when he's not hammered drunk. Maybe he's better hammered drunk. I don't know.
Maybe like one of the funniest like scenes in the whole show is when they're doing like the roast or something, and he gets up on the mic and he's like, "How about Saracen sleeping with Coach's daughter?" And everyone just goes quiet.
They're like, no.
All right. This is what I call the X Factor matchup. I think it's best on best here. We got from the TV show Lila Garrity versus the movie entire state championship game.
So you're talking about for the movie, I'm considering the entire state championship scene. Like I'm
Yep.
taking all the
Yeah,
features from that.
the
And then
running
from the
onto the
TV
field.
show.
You get Lila Garrity. She had no comps from the movie.
No,
Like
she doesn't.
She was on an island of her own and is just gorgeous. But then again, that championship game is pretty sweet.
Dude, I sometimes when I'm feeling a little blue and I need a little pick me up, I will YouTube Friday Night Lights movie state championship walkout.
Yeah.
Like it just gets me going. It gets the blood flowing. Also, and this is just a major side note, but how about explosions in the sky?
Oh yeah.
Fantastic. I've always been a fan of them ever since I discovered them via the movie. Because yeah, there's just like a lot of like snare drum solos that I didn't think could be so moving, yet they are. And this is a tough one, man. I think I got to give the edge to the state championship scene just because, I mean, it's just everything comes together. They pose a little bit of a comeback. They handle some adversity. I mean, Dallas Carter is just one of the dirtiest teams in
and then
high school football history.
You come to find out that Dallas Carter team was like every one of their players was ineligible and like 40 years old.
Yeah, which makes sense. So I'm gonna give the slight edge to the championship scene. I haven't cried a whole lot during movies, but there's probably been at least once or twice, when I've watched Friday Night Lights and a late fall Saturday night after a few beers where, the tears start flowing just a little bit. As a football player myself, pretty much the whole movie encapsulates like my entire football experience. Um, but especially the end there, and then even after that, like, holy shit, talk about just a heartbreaking scene when they're, like, walking out of the stadium for the final time, and those kids he's got
Yeah.
his foot Mike Winchell's got the football, and I mean, like, if you really think about it, there's a lot of, like, deep meaning, cinematography behind what they did there because he's got his football and he throws it to the next generation, the next
Yep.
class of kids coming up, and he's done. The football's out of his hands no more, and he's just got to move on with life and go do his thing. So,
Well,
I mean, that's just nuts.
this is a crazy fact too, that in Permian, every one of their youth football teams uses the playbook from the high school for both offense and defense. So by the time they get to high school, they just go in plain. They all run the triple option still. The quarterback has a number in the 20s. They're all undersized. Like it's the same.
Wow, that's crazy. I didn't know that. And I mean, Lila Garrity, she's very, very attractive. Definitely makes the blood pressure spike just a touch, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But and her and Riggins, like she like dumps her boyfriend and goes paralyzed, gets
Yeah.
with Riggins.
Just a world. And then like
Her dad's buddy.
yeah, in like season 3, she becomes like a born again Christian and then just is
Oh
like,
yeah.
yeah, never mind. And just um but yeah, I went with Lila Garrity mainly because I never played competitive football in my life, so I really don't have anything to like aspire to in that state championship. And Lila Garrity is just unbelievably attractive. So final score: Jordan gives the edge to the movie 8-5, which is kind of what I expected. And I gave the edge to the TV show 7-6, which is also kind of what I expected. So
That sounds about right for us because the movie came out in
2004.
2004, and then the TV show came out in 2006 and had 5 total seasons.
Yep.
I don't think I watched the TV show. I don't think I've seen the TV show until we've started doing the podcast, so I've watched it in the last, like, 6 years.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure, if I remember,
But
I never watched it until then, so
but Buddy Garrity in the TV show is just unmatched. Like there's some
yeah, I mean,
you just can't, like Mike Winchell versus Matt Saracen, not much of a competition, but yeah. I put a lot of time into coming up with these matchups, so
that was great.
yeah.
That took up, like, most of the time from our show.
Yeah, that was our first item we had on the rundown, and it's 48 minutes into the show.
I don't have a whole lot. All I really have for this next one is, has anybody ever, like, sent you a picture or something of your doppelganger and they're just ugly as shit?
My doppelganger though, anyone that has red hair, it's like cool. You did put a lot of time. Like that's like if I had like a black friend, I have a black friend, but if I just sent like every black person to them and be like, yeah, this is your doppelganger. But also there was one time I was driving a Zamboni during a high school hockey game, and
Zamboner.
and someone yelled Ed Sheeran, and I just flipped him off, and that got back to the higher ups, and I was in trouble.
I was trying to find it, but somebody sent me. Oh yeah, it was Bobby Brown. 50 Shades of Boucher. He sent me a very slow, just a very brief clip of this guy. I don't know, some TV show or something. And he just said twin. And I said, no chance. And he said doppelganger. And I said, nope. Because it was just like, when somebody sends you a doppelganger that you think yourself is like just not very good looking and they're adamant about it, it really makes you like reconsider and rethink a lot. And I've always thought about like that note that, the psychology, but behind how we perceive ourselves and how we view ourselves compared to how others see us. And I mean, you can really just blow your mind with it because it's just like think of it right now at this very moment. Both you, Matt, all of our listeners, think about yourself at your very moment. Like, Matt, I can see you and you can see you on the fucking screen here. Yeah. But like we only have this one view, our first point of view, or POV. That's all we have. And then when does our mind play tricks on itself when we see ourselves? Like, do we tell ourselves that we're better looking or not as good looking as we think? Or are we positive or negative with how we like view ourselves?
Yeah, I was at a brewery and I was sitting there like drinking, and Samson, who's been on the show before, who has red hair, he goes up, he just got there and he goes up and he's like, I'll take like this beer. And he's like, you just want me to put it on your tab? And he's like, do you think I'm the other ginger? And he's like, yeah, I did.
Yeah, that's not great, but yeah, that basically happened to me the other day. I got a doppelganger sent to me, and I was just like, I don't. If that is my doppelganger, I don't like that.
Yeah.
I'm not enjoying that.
It's like, here's your doppelganger, and it's just blind Joe. Um,
Legend.
I want to do this thing where, at the zoo, they have those things that you put like 2 quarters in and a penny, and then you turn it and it like smushes your penny and
Mhm.
stamps a buffalo on it.
Mhm.
I want to put those in bars, but they have like, I don't know, like things like the middle finger or like a smiley face or like something you could slide to someone if they want to bang in the bathroom. Um, but I just want like a bar vending machine like that I can go up, put a couple quarters in, pick what I want that could be like funny, or like if it has like a beer on it, then you like give that to a person and then they buy you a beer or something like that. I just think it'd be cool in bars, and it one doesn't have to be plugged into anything because it doesn't take electricity, and two, you would get a ton of people to do it.
Or what if they could put like their empty beer can in there and just crank it through a series of things? It's kind of Willy Wonka on the Chocolate Factory type deal.
Yeah, like you put a beer can and like crank it out and it comes out like an origami swan or something.
You put it in a full beer can and just beer everywhere. Yeah, that would be the only issue there. So you're saying that it would take like the penny and like form it into the middle finger or something?
Yeah.
Or just like wanna bang in the bathroom in 5 minutes and then you just kinda like you don't even have to ask like with using your voice anymore. You just like give that to
Yeah.
somebody at the bar. You
Yeah.
should have one that says like stadium sweep winner.
Yeah. It's
It's
like,
like, "Oh, I took 2 dumps here today."
yeah, only person ever to complete the perfect game.
Was you.
Yeah.
What's the perfect game again?
It's where you take a dump in both bathrooms and the employee bathroom upstairs.
The Triple Crown.
Yeah. It's honestly, that might be on my tombstone when I inevitably blow my head off.
It should be like resume material.
Yeah.
It's like,
Uh,
what kind of special talents do you have? It's like, well, actually, at this one bar that I regulate, 5 to 7 times a week, I actually took a dump in both customer bathrooms and the employee bathroom. And they're like, that takes guts. You're
yeah.
hired.
I have that on my headstone, and then there's like a asterisk down below describing what it is.
I could see it already.
All right, bar rescue's back in the.
Yeah, we gotta. I don't know. I feel like last week the acapella thing kind of like threw me off, and so we didn't really give much attention to the bar rescue. But I thought of it again because there's a bar down here that I went to that was on bar rescue. It has since just kind of turned right back into just like a. And it's not bad or anything. It's just kind of like like a very. It's once again, it's a very like worn down bar that has
Yeah.
just seen better days and just kind of smells like
Piss.
cleaning solution and sewage and piss all mixed in one. But
Dude, I went to a bar in Mesa that, I'm not kidding you, was the worst smelling room I've ever been in. Their bathroom smelled like there was just a dead body in there.
like when you were just down a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Interesting. These are all in like Chandler or maybe Gilbert, depending on exactly where. Well, the one that was on Bar Rescue, I believe, is technically in Gilbert, but
Yeah. Don't
it's,
put them
it's
on
funny.
blast, but definitely tell me after the show what it is, because I want to go watch that episode.
Yeah, it's funny because I was talking about it with some friends. We were just kind of like going over what bars that we've been to or like or whatever, and they pulled up the YouTube clip of it because it's like, this big grand opening, and they, like they're hyping it up all big time and trying to make it this grandiose thing, and then they like pulled down the sheet or whatever that's covering it. It's just this teeny it's just like a very, like, you would think it's going to be this massive like change and this huge sign. It's just the same exact building, just with like a teeny sign that just says the name of the bar on it. But Matt, I was thinking that, you and I were talking about a couple of funny episodes of Bar Rescue, of you and I being the bar recon guys.
See, I don't know if that would go all that well, because the bar recon guys, like, sometimes they'll go in and be like, this drink has too much alcohol in it. I will never say that. I'd be like, sweet, they put a bunch of booze in my drink.
Well, I know, and I think we would do a good job of that, where it'd be like, oh yeah, that drink had a ton of booze in it, and it was awesome.
I do. There's one episode that I can remember. He's like, all right, I want you to go in there and I want you to just order as many beers and shots as you can and just keep drinking. And the guy just got wasted and they never cut him off. Then John Taffer goes in there and he's like, look at this guy. You got him this drunk and like you were still letting him order drinks. The guy's like, yeah, you let me order all the drinks you wanted.
John's just like, okay, let me
Go drink some water, lay down in the alley.
I think we would be great at it because it's because we love to drink.
Yeah, I think we'd be brutally honest too, is the thing. That,
But
like,
I think we would be good at it because we would order a variety of things, both drinks and food. We would definitely chat up like the bartender or server, whoever that we were with. We would definitely chat up the customers, and try to make some friends in there. Um, if I think, and if John gave us the challenge of, hey, go see if you can meet the owner and have him buy a round of shots for the entire bar, me and you are doing that, no problem.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, we each could probably do that.
yeah.
Where one goes up, chats him up, round of shots, boom, next person goes up, round of drinks, and then next thing you know, the owner's got a $2,000 bar tab, and we're just hammered in his bar for free. But then I think we could also like check out all the other things, like you and I break down garage sales like pretty analytically. I think you and I could really break down, a bar pretty analytically. And it's like, all right, let's get the bathroom report from Matt. I think you would be great at that.
Well, that's because I take a shit in every bar I've ever been in.
Well, we may have to wrap up this podcast soon because, somebody else might be in that same situation as we approach 59 minutes. But I just think we would be a great bar rescue recon guys.
So one of my biggest road rage things I had is when people don't yield the right of way on back streets. Like, I have the right of way.
Backstreet Boys?
Yeah. Like, that's what the Backstreet Boys originally was about, not yielding on the right of way. And that's how they all came together.
Yeah.
And I was 4, so they didn't let me in the band at the time. But the new one I have is when I'm looking for parking places and someone just starts their car and so it turns the lights on in their car. So I think they're leaving, but then they leave their car just running for a half hour. So I think a couple things should happen. If you do that, I should be allowed to punch you in the dick.
Yep.
And I don't know why, but when you start your car, why does it turn on all the lights? Can't it just run with no lights on so I don't think someone's leaving?
I think that's just the modern technology that they put in vehicles just so you don't drive around with no lights on, which is one of the most common ways people get pulled over and arrested for DUI.
I feel like though that we have the technology, they should know that, oh, the automatic start went on. The lights don't need to be on. It will only go on when someone's actually sitting in the car.
Excuse me, it could be a security thing as well. Because, I mean, if you see a car running and there's no lights on and you're a thief and you want to steal the car, you're probably a little more likely to. Whereas if you got this thing lit up like goddamn the Gettysburg Address, then I think you're less likely to get your car stolen. I don't know, Matt. You ask good questions.
My mom leaves her keys in her car at all times, which means it can't be locked. And she's like, yeah, but I hide them in a secure place, but it's like a fob. So that means that anyone could just get in her car and drive away with it. It's like they don't need the keys, they're in the car. Um,
Yeah, let's just say the days of me leaving my car unlocked are over. I
Yeah.
don't, with the sunshine and warm weather comes a very much higher criminal activity rate.
this morning I parked and there was a homeless guy walking through our parking lot. And so I just stared at him and just kept clicking the lock button on my car.
Nice.
Um,
It's like when a black guy walks by and you quickly quickly hit the lock button.
yeah, roll up your windows. But then another thing that happened to me like a week ago was I was like looking around for a parking spot and I saw someone get in their car like they're leaving. And then so I sat in the middle of the street so they could see me like I'm waiting to take their spot. And they proceeded to stay in their car and not move for 15 minutes.
Did you proceed to stay there and wait for 15 minutes?
Yes, I was like blocking the road for like 15 minutes. And like it was got to the point where it was like after I waited 5 minutes, like, okay, I'm in for the long haul. I'm staying here until
Yeah, you're committed.
yeah. But yeah, it just pissed me off, especially when it's cold out or like I don't want to walk very far or yeah, just grinds my gears.
Well, now we know, people, if you're gonna get in, start your car, just get in and go. But uh final notes for the show here this week of episode 289, No Brains, No Headache. First of all, Rattlesnake Watch is fully back. I was on a hike the other day. I did a hike called Tom's Thumb. Pretty neat one here in the Phoenix area. And it's like straight up for like 2.5 miles, but then straight down after that. So take your pick of what you want. But I was on the way back down. And I was really enjoying my hike. I was having a peaceful time. And I even was acknowledging that in my head. I was like, wow, this has been such a peaceful hike. I've really enjoyed it. And literally like 2 minutes later, the very next person I passed on the trail, they're like, hey, just so you know, we saw a snake a little while back near the trail. I was like, you've got to be shitting me. And then the next people I passed, I was like, did you guys see the snake? Just trying to gather some information as to maybe where it is. I don't know, but they had a video of it. They're like, yeah, I was trying to get a closer video of it. And I'm like, you were going closer to this thing? I did go further away, but
How funny
yeah.
would it have been if they would have been like, "Hey, just so you know, there's a snake up there," and be like, "Just so you know, I didn't fucking ask."
Yeah, no. So yeah, but then like there's in this particular trail, there's a ton of switchbacks. Like you're just kind of like zigzagging all over the place. And I said, where's the snake at? And they kind of just pointed a general direction that I was headed. And they're like, by that switchback over there. I was like, oh, that's super helpful. As if this trail just isn't a fucking zigzag of a line. But rattlesnake. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, 1 week ago, a dehydrated man had to be rescued by the fire department at Tom's Thumb.
Yeah, I mean, definitely want to bring some water on that one. But yeah, so Rattlesnake Watch is back, and then Megan Fox also back. She did quite the photo shoot the other day. Yeah, definitely, let her ruin your life type situation if you ever came across that. So kudos to Megan Fox, looking good. She's back. And that's really all I have. We will be back next week with episode 290. So make sure you follow us on all social media platforms. And then make sure you're subscribing wherever you're listening or watching, Spotify, Apple, iHeart, YouTube, wherever it is. Make sure that you are following along and you're on the No Brains, No Headache train. Tell your friends, tell your family. That's all we have for this week's episode. So thank you so much for listening. Love you all. Be great.